Okay, so for this deep dive, we're not just, summarizing a classic. We want to do something a little different.
Right, we want to really get inside it.
Exactly. We are going to walk step by step through the tragedy of Winston Smith chronologically and try to really integrate the specific, iconic language of his world right into the story.
So you feel the weight of it.
Yeah.
And we have to start with the atmosphere, because it's everything. We're in Oceania, specifically Airstrip One, which, used to be Britain.
And this world is just defined by constant war, by scarcity, by fear. The first thing you get is the smell.
Yes, the smell of boiled cabbage and old rag mats. And then you see the poster, 3 feet high, plastered everywhere, with that inescapable slogan, "Big Brother is watching you."
That surveillance is just the most obvious layer of control, though. The government itself, the structure of it, is this piece of weaponized irony. You have the Ministry of Truth, which deals in lies.
The Ministry of Peace, which handles war. We should probably use their Newspeak names, because they really get to the heart of it.
Yeah.
Minitrue for truth, mini packs for peace.
Mini plenty for starvation rations.
And, of course, Mini Love, the Ministry of Love, which is where they run the prisons and torture chambers.
But if you want the philosophy, the core logic of this tyranny, it's not in the buildings. It's on the coins. It's everywhere.
It's a 3-party slogans. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength.
What's so chilling about those is that they're not hiding the lie. They're advertising it. It's a declaration that reality is whatever the party says it is.
Exactly. It's about forcing you to hold 2 contradictory ideas at once and just accept them.
Which brings us right to the start, the very first line. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13.
And we meet our protagonist, Winston Smith. He's 39, works for the outer party. He's physically weak. He's got this varicose ulcer on his ankle, and he's just mentally exhausted, trying to remember what life was actually like before the party took over.
And his first act of rebellion is so small, so simple.
It's almost pathetic, isn't it? He buys a blank book, a diary, and a pen. Forbidden items.
And when he writes that first entry, April 4th, 1984, the reality of his situation just crashes down on him.
He writes the absolute truth of his world. Thought crime does not entail death. Thought crime, is death.
That's so heavy. The thought itself is the crime, not the action, not the word, just the thought.
And there's no trial for that. It's just, you're gone. And that paranoia is constantly stoked, especially during the daily ritual of the 2-minute tape.
Ah, yes. This is where everyone gathers to scream at a telescreen showing the face of Emmanuel Goldstein, the supposed enemy of the people.
It's this spectacle of pure, directed rage. But the truly sinister part, the real psychological insight here, is that the horrible thing wasn't being forced to act a part.
Right.
It was that it was impossible to avoid joining in. The rage becomes real. You get swept up in it.
And it's during one of these sessions that we meet 2 characters who will seal his fate. First, there's this dark-haired girl from the fiction department.
Julia. And he hates her. Just this murderous rage, because she seems so perfect, young and pretty and sexless, like the ideal party member.
And then there's O'Brien, an inner party member. And Winston feels this irrational hope. He catches a look from O'Brien and convinces himself that he's a fellow dissident, an ally in the heart of the enemy.
A secret friend. But the day-to-day reality of his life is much grimmer. You see it when we meet his neighbors, the Parsons family.
The smell of their flat is just what you'd expect, that boiled cabbage smell, but it's layered with the sharper reek of sweat from Tom Parsons, the dull Orthodox father.
But the children. The children are the truly chilling part.
Oh, yeah. They're described as ungovernable little savages, but all their energy is for the party. They're playing spy, screaming at Winston, calling him a thought criminal, and a Eurasian spy.
And the narrator gives us this devastating piece of insight. It was almost normal for people over 30 to be frightened of their own children.
Think about that. The family unit itself, the most private space, is turned into a surveillance outpost for the state.
Your own kids are the spies you have to fear most.
So that first thought crime, writing in the diary, has set him on a path, which takes us to his job and how the party mechanically erases reality itself.
He works at the Ministry of Truth and the Records Department, RECDEP, and his job is, literally, to falsify history. He uses a machine called a speakwrite.
So if the party makes a new prediction, he goes back and alters the old one to match. He's an architect of lies.
We see him do it. He invents a completely fictitious war hero, Comrade Ogilvy, to replace a man named Withers, who has been vaporized, disappeared.
Those purged people become unpersons.
They cease to exist. They never existed. And Winston is the one doing the erasing, but he can't erase it from his own memory.
And this all leads to the system that underpins everything. The control of language, Newspeak.
His friend, Syme, is a philologist working on the new Newspeak dictionary. And he is so enthusiastic, venomously orthodox. He explains the beauty of it.
He says the whole aim of Newspeak is to narrow the range of thought.
Exactly. The idea is to destroy words. Every year, the dictionary gets smaller. The ultimate goal is to make thought crime literally impossible, because there won't be any words left to express a rebellious idea.
A linguistic lobotomy.
That's a perfect way to put it. And the psychological tool that makes this all work, that lets people function in this sea of lies, is doublethink.
We see the perfect example when the chocolate ration is announced. It's being reduced from 30 grams to 20.
But it's announced on the telescreen as a great victory, a wonderful rise in the standard of living, and everyone just swallows it.
They know it's a lie, but they believe the lie. They hold both truths at once. Winston can't do it.
He remembers the 30 grams. He has this memory that he can't get rid of, and it makes him realize he is alone in the possession of a memory.
So in his isolation, he puts all his hope in the one group the party basically ignores, the Proles.
The slogan is, Proles and animals are free. The party considers them too stupid to be a threat, so they aren't indoctrinated or watched in the same way. Winston thinks if there is hope, it lies in the Proles.
So he takes this huge risk. He goes into a Prole pub to try and talk to an old man, to verify history, to find out if life was better or worse before the party.
But it's useless.
Yeah.
The old man's memory is just a rubbish heap of details. He remembers top hats and arguing about pints versus liters, but nothing important. He can't confirm anything.
So no historical truth from the Proles. But they do provide the setting for his next act of rebellion. He goes back to that little junk shop and rents the room upstairs from the proprietor, Mr. Charrington.
And this room is a sanctuary because of one incredible fact.
There's no telescreen.
There's no telescreen. He can't believe it. For him, that room becomes a pocket of the past where extinct animals could walk. It's a place outside of party control.
And that refuge is where his personal revolution really begins. The dark-haired girl, Julia, the one he hated.
She falls in front of him one day, and as he helps her up, she slips a note into his hand.
And it just says, I love you.
In that one moment, all his fear of her, all his hatred just evaporates.
They meet in a clearing out in the country, a place he calls the Golden Country. And the first thing she does is rip off the scarlet sash of the Junior Anti-Sex League.
She reveals her own rebellion, which is much more cynical and practical than his. She tells him, I always yell with the crowd, that's what I say. It's the only way to be safe.
And Winston realizes that their relationship is fundamentally a political act. The party has channeled all that sexual energy into political hysteria. So for them to be together,
it's a direct assault. The narrator says it plainly. Their embrace was a blow struck against the party. It was a political act.
As their affair deepens, Winston's ultimate hope comes true. O'Brien, the inner party member, arranges a meeting.
He invites them to his luxurious apartment, and there he does something Winston thought was purely a myth.
He turns off the telescreen.
Just switches it off. He says so casually, yes, we can turn it off. We have that privilege.
That one act must have felt like a miracle. It confirmed everything Winston wanted to believe.
He's not alone. O'Brien is with them. They commit to the Brotherhood, this underground resistance. And O'Brien puts them through this horrifying catechism.
He asks if they're prepared to murder, to sabotage, to throw sulfuric acid in a child's face for the cause.
And they say yes. Yes to all of it.
And to seal the deal, O'Brien recites a line from an old rhyme Winston knows, cementing their bond. When I grow rich, say the bells of Shoreditch.
He then gives Winston the book, the legendary text by Emmanuel Goldstein, The Theory and Practice of Oligarchical Collectivism.
And this is the intellectual key to everything. While Julia just falls asleep, she's not interested in theory, Winston reads it and finally understands how the system works.
He learns about the endless cycle of the high, the middle, and the low, and how the party keeps it frozen in place. That's what ignorance's strength means.
And he finally understands the true purpose of the constant war. It's not about defeating another country.
No. The war is waged by the party against its own subjects. Its purpose is to use up surplus goods to keep the population poor and desperate and to maintain a state of warlike hysteria.
Reading this, understanding it, confirms for Winston that he's not crazy. The world is real, he concludes. Sanity is not statistical.
But of course, their little pocket of the past was always a trap.
The end comes so suddenly. They're in their room, looking out the window at this Prole woman singing, and Winston has this beautiful thought that the Proles had stayed human.
And then a cold, iron voice speaks from the wall. The picture of St. Clement Danes falls down, and there's a hidden telescreen behind it.
The betrayal is absolute. The voice belongs to Mr. Charrington, the kindly old shop owner, and he completes that little rhyme.
Here comes a candle to light you to bed. Here comes a chopper to chop off your head. The arrest is brutal and immediate.
Winston is taken to Minilove, the Ministry of Love, and he's tortured for weeks, maybe months. He confesses to everything they want him to.
But O'Brien, who is now his torturer, explains that confession is not the point. He explains the party's real goal, what makes them different from all past tyrannies.
They don't want martyrs, they want converts.
O'Brien says, we convert him, we capture his inner mind, we reshape him. We make him one of ourselves before we kill him.
It's a war on reality itself. O'Brien holds up 4 fingers and demands that Winston see 5.
And he tortures Winston until he screams, 5, 5, 5. But O'Brien knows he's just saying it to stop the pain. He says, you still think there are 4? The goal is to make him truly believe there are 5.
But Winston holds on to one last thing, one final belief, that his inner heart, his love for Julia, is his own. They can't make him betray her.
And that is when O'Brien takes him to room 101.
Room 101 contains simply the worst thing in the world, whatever that is for you.
For Winston, it's rats, and they bring out a cage of starving rats, designed to fit over his head. As it gets closer to his face, he finally breaks.
He betrays the one thing he swore he wouldn't.
He screams it, the final, absolute self-betrayal. Do it to Julia. Do it to Julia. Not me, Julia. I don't care what you do to her. Tear her face off, strip her to the bones. Not me, Julia. Not me.
And that's it. The party wins. He's released, fattened up, cured. He even meets Julia again, briefly.
She confesses she betrayed him too. She says, at the time when it happens, you do mean it. Their love is dead. It's just contempt now.
Winston spends his days at the Chestnut Tree Cafe, drinking clove-flavored gin, a broken man.
And then one day, a news flash comes on the telescreen announcing some great victory in the war.
In that moment, he feels the final change happen. The struggle is finished. He looks up at the giant poster of the leader.
And the book ends with those final, horrifying words. He loved Big Brother.
That journey from the first small act of thought crime to that total surrender just shows how a system can control not just what you do, but what you remember, what you believe, what you love.
O'Brien proved he was right. They could get inside Winston. They could destroy the very core of his humanity.
So here's the thought we want to leave you with. Julia's initial belief was that the party can't get inside you, that your feelings are your own. O'Brien's goal in Room 101 was to prove that's not true. He forces Winston to betray the one person he loves to save himself.
So the question is, if the party can destroy love, if it can force that ultimate self-betrayal, what part of the human spirit, if any, is actually left? What remains that is truly impregnable? What then is left to rebel?